Now that we understand server components, at least kind of at a high level anyways, let's go ahead and try to use one to fetch some data out of our database and then show it on the screen. So step one, I'm going to create my server component. I've kind of already done that. We've already got this src layout page.tsx file. This is our home page right here. This is the file where we want to fetch some data from our database and show it on the screen. To make sure it's a server component, all we have to do is not write out that string of use client at the top of the file. We haven't done so. There's no use client at the top, and that means we have a server component. Next up, we're going to mark this function as async because we can use async await syntax inside of a server component. So I'll go back here, find my function, mark it async. Next up, I'm going to make an HTTP request or otherwise just directly access my database. Now we only need to make an HTTP request if we are using an outside third-party API. We are not doing that in this project right now. We have a direct link to our database immediately directly inside of our project. So to get our data for our case, we can import that Prisma client into our file and then write out a query inside of our component to get our list of snippets out of it. So back over here, at the very top, I'm going to import curly braces DB from @/DB. And then inside of my component, to get my list of snippets, here's what we're going to write. We'll say snippets is await db.snippet find many. So that's how we get all the different snippets out of our database. This right here, snippets, that's now going to be an array of objects. And if we're not sure about it, we can always just mouse over and it's going to tell us very clearly that we've got an array of objects where every object has an ID that is a number, a title that is a string, and some code that is a string. So now, last step, we can just render our data directly. If we wanted to, we could pass it off to some other child component, but in this case, let's just go ahead and render it. We'll just show our list of snippets on the screen. So to render out this list, I will create a new variable called rendered snippets. I'm going to map over the list of snippets. And for every snippet, I will return a div with a key of snippet.id. And for right now, I'm just going to print out the snippet's title. So snippet.title, like so. Then down at the bottom, update homepage. Instead of saying that, let's just print out the list of rendered snippets. Okay, let's save this back with the browser. And there we go. Now, between the last video and this one, I added in a second code snippet by going to that create form. You'll notice that we are seeing our snippets right here. If you want to add in some additional records, you can manually navigate to localhost 3000/snippets/new. That'll show the form, and you can add in some additional snippet. Let's try that out right now, as a matter of fact. So back over here, I'll say function that multiplies numbers. And then return A times B, like so. You don't actually have to put out these implementations here, by the way. I'm just doing it for completeness sake. Once I've got that all in, I'll click on Create. I'll go backward to my home page, and now I'll see that brand new snippet appear. Excellent.